Hello! Oh, that just echoed way far away. Here is the middle of East Pike Lake. I came from way back there, way off in the distance. And I'm gonna go way up there. There are these giant cliffs along a lot of these lakes, which are really cool. Canada is just over that way. I think I'll have a chance to touch it later in the trip. Those are definite wolf tracks right there. I guess to compare to my ski pole, they're pretty big compared to the handle. So, it's like 1:45, 2 o'clock. I think I'm gonna make camp while there might still be a little bit of sunshine. Looking up the lake, it's like there's a fog over the whole thing. It's hard to see in the video, but the whole surface, it's like there's a fog hanging right on top of the snow as the sun is setting and the sky's clear. Morning of day 2, standing in the middle of West Pike Lake, which is again very, very long. I don't even know, probably a few miles end to end here. And the sun is bright and warm, and the whole surface, it's like it's covered in glitter. Everywhere I look, there are just millions of little glittery points. Probably just thousands, but yeah, pretty cool. Gotta get under the nose. That's a critical one. Out in the snow. I forgot to comb my hair this morning. That's better. One of the best things about solo trips is you don't have to cut anything. Like this block of cheese, you just bite right off of it. And nobody cares. I'm a pretty strong downhill skier. Not trying to toot my own horn, but it comes to an advantage when trying to do this kind of stuff on lightweight equipment. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, a little crust from the sun yesterday. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Real rocky looking. Whoa! Okay, time to stop that business. Well, party's over. I found the slush. The first really bad spot of the trip, right back there. I came out of the woods off the Portage Trail, which was great, and immediately onto a very slushy lake. So I'm gonna grab the scraper, chip it off, clean it up, keep going, find camp. There's been this ice fog, I'll call it, hanging on the southern shoreline all day. And here you can actually see it moving over me right now. It's coming my way. Surrounded by this fog, pretty much all around me. It's hard to make out the shoreline. It's cold fog. You just feel it as it sweeps over you. You can see that in the background. It's just this glare. Kind of going into the thicker spot now by this point. Maybe easier to eat cheese solo, but making camp is a chore. The sequential nature to doing everything is kind of tough. And the tent isn't really a tent, it's a tarp. So it's kind of like a circus tent. You stake it out all around the perimeter with some slack. Then you actually lift it in the middle and use the 2 trekking poles as the center posts. So I usually let it sit here for a little while and freeze in those sticks so they're good and solid before I put any strain on them. It's a pretty great backdrop. Skis up, pack is almost unpacked, tent's ready. It's looking much better. All right, sleeping burrito is almost set. Have the inflated thermarest underneath and a bivy sack and the sleeping bag inside of it. Melting some snow water for dinner and a hot thermos for later. Well, I think I was in the sleeping bag for 12 hours and I definitely heard wolves later in the night off in the distance howling and some other unexplained noises, but nobody came to visit, so that's good. 8:48. Camp is mostly packed. Breakfast is almost ready. Coffee is finally made. And the sun is just coming over the trees so that I can sit and enjoy breakfast feeling a little bit warmer than when I first got up. This is a huge, long lake. It is going to be a chore. So it's actually the last Boundary Waters lake on my trip, and then on to McFarland. I think I'm going to pick the shaded southern shoreline in hopes that the conditions there are less slushy than the sunny north shoreline. Also, I'll stay cooler. This isn't fun anymore, which I think officially classifies it as type 2 fun, meaning it's no fun while you're doing it, but when you look back on it later, it'll be fun. I think I made it about a fourth of the way down the lake. I'm covered in sweat, and I think there's a breeze, but it's at my back, which is usually good in the winter, but not today. There's like this infinite series of points, one after the other, and I basically take the straightest line between them and then pause in the shade of each one to cool down and drink water. Whew. I don't remember the last time I faced such a daunting challenge. Like just a grueling grind it out. And if I chose not to do this, like I would just be here forever. Eventually, I think they'd come look for me, but I'd just be sitting there, bitter, cold, hungry, refusing to keep walking. At which point they'd probably make me walk anyway. So I might as well do it now while I still have food and water. I think I've run marathons faster than the time it's going to take me to ski down this lake. I'm too lazy to put the camera down and ski by it so you can see what I look like. So I'll use the shadow instead. It's been officially now 3 hours since I started in the portage on the other end of the lake, which is quite a bit longer than the amount of time it's taken me to run from Minneapolis to St. Paul or through all 5 boroughs of New York City. But all the trees ahead of me are larger in perspective than the ones behind me. That means I'm pretty darn close. It's actually a group ice fishing here at the end of the lake. I came over from McFarland. I'm gonna go see if I can trade them a Pro Bar for a beer. Well, just as I had hoped, they had beer. I even offered them my Pro Bar. They declined. They said, you can just have one. So here it is, crossing back into McFarland. Well, I rounded the point and I can see the road just over there with a lot of people. Sun is got about 20 minutes till it's probably behind that hill behind me, and the fog is rolling in once again. So I think now is the time to enjoy a Keystone Light in the sunshine. Come on, there it is. Tastes pretty good. Those are some steamy socks. Wow. See them underneath. Ooh-wee.